for 6 years now, and I've worked in various industries. So originally I had my background in construction, and then I moved into IT project management. So I've worked in various organizations as part of the project management office, and I've been able to manage various types of projects in terms of sizes and complexity. So I'm going to go straight into it and not waste any more time. So I'm hoping that everyone else can still see my screen. If we're talking about project management, the only reason why the word for the project management even comes up in the first place is because the project needs to be managed. So we'll start off with what a project is, what the definition of a project is. If at any point you can't see my screen pass up, just send me a message to say you can't see my screen anymore. If not, please send me a thumbs up so I can still see my screen. So what
Absolutely.
a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique service or result. What you're trying to do is going to produce something that is unique in the way of either a product, a service, or a result, and what you're working on is. The emphasis here is on temporary, it means it is not endless. It has a start date and it has an end. So that's the definition of a project going by Project Management Institute body of knowledge. So we have projects and then we have an operation. Like I mentioned, the project is temporary. Now, an operation is a set of continuous tasks that are undertaken to achieve specific goals. So they're usually ongoing, they're repetitive, they're more like business as usual. While a project has start and finish, timeline, operations are just continuous. What keeps business going, as opposed to a project that's an initiative that will start and finish at a particular time. So the difference between a project and an operation. Project is temporary, it's unique, it closes after you have attained the objectives. An example would be prototyping of a new car model, for example. And then an operation is ongoing, it's repetitive. The objective is to sustain a business. If you give an example, with the assembly line in production, it's something that keeps the wheels moving continuously. So these are the differences between project and an operation. Just to say, if you have any questions, I forgot to mention before I started, you can put them in the chat box. Pascal will consolidate the questions and then he will send them to me, and then I would answer. So I'll give a couple of minutes towards the end so that I can answer any questions that people have. So just to mention also before I go forward, this is literally just to give you an idea, to have an idea of what project management really is about. If you call it project management 101, start with this. This is not a session to go very deep into what project management processes and all those things are, but to give the general knowledge about what it is you need to know if you're deciding to go into the field of project management, or if you're deciding to switch from another field into project management. So just the basic things that you need to know as you take on that path. So I'm going to move on straight to what project management is. So we have found out what a project is, we know what the definition of a project is, we know that it's temporary, and it's aimed at providing something that is unique, that product, service, or result, and it's bound by time. Now, project management is now the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements. So you have a project, you have to manage this project using certain things. You have to apply knowledge, you have to use skills and techniques so that your project can meet its requirement. And that's the definition of project management, going back once again, Project Management Institute. And the body of knowledge that they have, the fifth edition, is exactly how they define project management. The definition really hasn't changed over the last couple of years with regard to what project management itself is. Now, why do organizations use project management? Why bother? Why have people manage projects? Why can't people just reach out to each other to say, I've been told I need to do this, I've finished, we will pick up contractors, or why can't people just do things as it is convenient for them or when they have the time to? Now, the reason why organizations use project management, this is why project managers are usually constantly in demand, is that they need people to handle projects effectively, define the project based on customer requirement, so that they can plan and access resource needs. You can estimate cost and proposals, schedule activities, you can allocate the right resources, you can assess risks, which is usually very important, and failure points, and then find contingencies / backups for the risks, and then to be able to lead project teams effectively and communicate properly. Now, for projects, for every project, there's something in project management called constraint of scope, time, and cost. These things determine how your project will work or how it will function, the confines within which your project will have to work. Now, the scope, I say the scope, or I usually explain scope as the wall around the project. It's the boundary. It's what we have agreed that we are going to do. So if anyone today sets out to grocery shop, for example, something very simple like that, I want to buy only apple, oranges, and pineapple. Now that's what you have left your house. So the scope of this particular activity is this. Anything outside of this, you didn't plan for. If you took this your grocery shopping as a mini project, you know that your focus, you have the boundaries by which you are operating, and then it keeps you focusing on the right things. So for every project, there's truly a scope. What are we trying to deliver? What are the requirements? What is this project going to deliver at the end when it has been successfully completed? That's usually what the scope of the project is. So it's basically the boundary, what the stakeholders are expecting, usually until the work that's involved in delivering the project outcome, and the process that I use to produce. And what you want to remember is that the scope of a project is the boundaries, what you are, the confines within which you're working. Now, time, as it says, for every project, you can't finish at any time. It's the time that is required to complete the project, the duration of all the activities of the project. The time constraint usually includes specific dates to deliver either an activity, a milestone, for the entire project. You're working with scope, you're working with time, and of course, you're working with cost. Projects cost money. They need to be funded. So the approved cost for the project that will include all the project expenses, human resources, material resources, hardware, software, whatever you need to purchase or spend money on during that project will fall under the cost. So for every single project, you're usually confined with these three items: time and cost. Only as much as you can do when you have a particular amount of money that has been assigned, when you have a particular time that has been allocated to the project, and when you have specific boundaries that the project will work with. So usually these are the triple constraints that you find in any project. Now there are other constraints that are competing in a project. So we've mentioned scope, time, cost. There's quality, there's risk, there's resources. I mean, there are countless number of constraints. These things are all competing for attention, if I can use that word, on your project. These all need to be met. They all need to be satisfied in one way or another for you to be on the project successfully. So those are competing constraints besides three triple constraints that have been mentioned earlier that projects usually work within. Now you have environments within which project operates. So there are two types of environments. There are internal environments. There's an internal environment and then there's an external environment. Internal environment usually will be the environment in which the organization that's establishing the project it's in. So it will include their policies, their procedures, their standards, their non-core values. Those sort of things constitute the internal environment in which the project is working. Now there are also external environments. So these are usually conditions that the project might have little or no influence to change. So government requirements, local regulations, local infrastructure, or even competitive market. But it's always good to know that the work with the understanding of these two environments. The internal one, which you're working with, usually will be the environment of the organization that you're in or the organization you're working for, and then the external one that you do not have any control over. Now, as a project manager, you're the person responsible for managing and coordinating project effort from start to finish. If you want to call it from inception to successful completion. The project manager is the person responsible for making things happen in their project. So the responsibilities, which are not limited to these, but these are the major ones, will include planning. So developing the project management plan, all the plans that will guide the actions that will be carried out in the project, organizing and coordinating the work to make optimal use of the resources, directing, so you'll be leading and motivating your project team and other key stakeholders, controlling, which means monitoring progress against plan, which may need modification at the baseline at different time, and then just developing all the project management plans with the team and communicate project information to stakeholders. So you manage every interface point in the project. You are the project's CEO, if I can use that word, which you use in offensive work as well. So you are the champion for the project. You are the one who drives this project. It's driven by you at that point. You are the one who's leading the project team. So you are the one responsible for making sure that things happen and things happen the right way. Because your responsibility includes not just planning and organizing, but you're also going to be directing. You're going to be motivating your project team members. You're also going to be communicating updates and status to your project stakeholders. So that brings us to ask how you're mute.
Thank you. Thank you. This has happened. So as a follow-up to what Oscar has said, we are certified staff. What we also do is we also let you get started out. We offer certifications in project management that can enable you to kickstart your career. Now, part of what we do beyond the certifications we offer is we also give you lots of career support. We help you revamp your CV, work through your CV. We help you with your cover letter. We help you with your LinkedIn optimization. Because LinkedIn is something every employer would tend to do. Once you sign up, they want to see what you have done in the past and know more about you. We can't underestimate how much we need to get points with our LinkedIn. So this is a part of what we do for you. We'll be sharing some coupons to everyone who has joined this session right now to be able to sign up for project management courses, proper certification courses with us towards the end of this. So stay tuned. The next question says, what is project management the same as project management?
No, it is not. So, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and get you to. So, when I gave the definition of a project, I said it was a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So, a product is literally, as the word goes, it's part of what your project will deliver. So, Google on its own has various products under it. It has email, it has Google Meet, it has Google Drive, it has Google. These are all products under the suite. So your project, before, I don't know that 20 years ago there was Google Meet. Now, for them to have this new product or feature, work needed to be done behind the scenes to deliver it. So the product sometimes could be the outcome of your project. So you have done the work that needs to be done to produce that product. So product management is a completely different field entirely, because with product managers, they have a roadmap for a particular product. That's why for people who are, let me take Nigeria for example. You wake up tomorrow and see that, you can do more things with your banking app you weren't able to do before. there's a product owner for that application. He has a roadmap for what needs to be done. In June, people will not be able to log in their product. By September, they'll be able to use their retinal scan. By December, they'll be able to use their email addresses. So somebody has a roadmap for that product, for the lifespan of the product. As a project manager, some of these initiatives in their roadmap you would have to work on in way of a project or an initiative to deliver it. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Well answered. I totally agree with you. The next question says, kindly confirm if learning how to use MS Project, Jira, and Confluence will make me a project manager.
Learning how to use them will not make you a project manager. No. These are tools that you use as a project manager. So I'm a carpenter. I need the hammer, the chisel, the tape measure. These are the tools that I need to make me a successful carpenter. The fact that I have a tape measure, a hammer, and a bunch of nails doesn't make me a carpenter. I don't know what carpentry is about by having those tools. But if I have already gathered and acquired the skills I need, then these tools become useful for me in my career as a carpenter. So no, they're useful, but they wouldn't make you, they automatically do not make you a project manager. So if you know how to use these tools, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should start applying for project management jobs.
Great. Again, we can't overemphasize, if you want to be a project manager, you have to get certified to be a project manager. Just like if you want to be a doctor, you have to get the training and get certified to be a doctor. If you want to be a project manager, you have to get certified. For those who are new or who may have not have joined through our link, I would say check out our website. It's been shared on the chat, certifystart.com. Check it out for courses you want to do. We have multiple projects in multiple courses in project management. We have the traditional project management and the agile project management courses. We'll have a number of conversations in the course of this series where we'll talk about some more about agile project management. But I would say go online, check out all the different courses we have, and sign up. We'll be giving out a coupon at the end of this to enable people to sign up with a discount. The next question says, what is the difference between project manager and a scrum manager?
Okay, so I saw one from Tonya before that, so I'll answer that and then I'll go back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right.
So a project manager is someone who manages a project from inception to completion. A scrum master does manage the items that are involved in delivering a product or incremental parts of the product, but in an agile environment. So agility really is your ability to respond to change and adapt. So when the agile framework came out, it was as a result or in response to the need for things to come out quicker. So for waterfall, for example, waterfall project management means that you will build. There's so many dependencies. If you're building a house, the foundation needs to be done before you lay the floor slabs, before you put on the columns, and then put the next floor slab and the walls and blah, blah, blah. So things there's strong dependencies on each other for things to work in a waterfall methodology. For Agile, they want to be able to deliver small increments of a product. So the product could be a finished website. Now, you pay attention when you're online, or when you have various platforms, you would notice that you go in today, I was able to sign in using my username and password, and I've seen, there's now an additional feature. I can sign in using Facebook, Google, or Instagram, for example, and I know Facebook and Google most times. And then after that, they're now saying, when you're paying, initially you might start off only be able to pay with your debit card. But now I'm seeing that we can now pay with gift cards. I'm seeing we can now pay with certain coupons. These are, when they started off on that website project, they might have come up with the basic thing that they wanted to see as a minimum viable product. So what is the minimum viable thing that we can send out? Okay, we want to be able to log into the website, put items in their basket,